Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the rival showdown for the Manchester derby and we are joined by Faz and Luke. 2 versus 1, but Luke, welcome to the channel.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you having me on and yeah, let's go.
Let's go. I mean, you're sporting a horrible kit right there, but what we have got for you to go and get is the United Stand Christmas jumpers, limited edition. Go and grab yours and you can wear it while you're supporting Manchester United. Lovely jumper there. Go and grab it. Link in the description. But let's get on with the show. First of all, Luke, I'll come to you. As an outsider, obviously as a rival fan, what have you made of Manchester United's season so far?
Well, I mean, you've got a few points on the table now in the league, so I think you've done all right from that perspective. But I think you're quite lucky. I've said this before, but I just think, you know, the Wolves game you got away with that with a decision at the end. The Forest game you fought back, but it's poor going 2-0 down to them, and then some decent results. I know you've said off camera the Arsenal game you thought you were robbed in that, but I think you've done well to get the points you've got. And in the Champions League, you've been woeful. Again, you're lucky in that. 1 point on the board, I'm pretty sure.
No,
yeah,
3 points. 3 points.
3. Sorry, yeah, 3. Would have been 1 without that last-minute save. But yeah, I think you've been poor, but I think you've kind of got away with it with the point. You've done all right point-wise. So.
Well, not all of us get to buy the group.
Pot 1, but yeah.
I mean, Faz, do you agree with what Luke's saying there about Man United start to season?
Yeah, it's funny because speaking to Man United fans, speaking to rival fans, they say on Man United fans is we're overreacting because we're only 6 points of a title charge. So
yeah.
That's why they hate us.
That's why they hate me, because I say that. But yeah, when you look at the table, the points difference isn't reflective to how we've been performing. But it's also interesting comparing Man City's past few seasons, especially 2 seasons ago, then last season and this season. It seems to me they've not declined as such because they've obviously won the treble. But this season, they've already shown blips and they've shown that they do not just miss players, but there's almost that, you know, when you're tasting food and there's the missing ingredient.
Yeah.
There's a missing ingredient. And the missing ingredient is obviously Kevin De Bruyne, who's not there. But the blueprints is being shown from certain teams how Man City away from home can be defeated. So.
Well, you guys are a tough team to go against. I would probably say still the best team in the world. Like, it's the hardest game I think in the world to go against Manchester City, and that's obviously a lot of. You've deserved that after you've just won the treble. You have won that, and it's unfortunate for Man United fans, but you have. But this starts the season. I have looked at you guys, and I wish we were better, to be honest, because I think even though you are still top quality, and I think Alvarez has really stepped up, and you have got players that can step up, you are gettable. Especially when we've seen, unfortunately for us, Rodri is available for the game on Sunday. But when Rodri's out the team, you know, your past 5 away games, you've won 2 and then you've lost 3. So that for City is quite unusual. So what have you made of City's start to the season?
I think for starters, it's worth noting that we never start a season well. We're always a little bit sloppy. I mean, this is the first season for a while we've actually had a proper pre-season. So that's why I think we've done better this season at the start of the season than the previous 2. Because you look back, we do lose games at the start of the season. Think back a couple of years ago, we lost to Spurs. You know, we have poor starts to seasons, and I think this one we weren't actually putting on great performances, but we were getting results, and we won the first few games in a row. Obviously, then lost 2 in the league. The Carabao Cup game away at Newcastle, you can't really get a harder first round game than that. So it's got to be worth looking at that. You know, that game. I'm not going to really count that. I know it is a loss, but I'm not really going to think about that too deeply.
And then the quadruples off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, yeah. But then to lose to Wolves, that was poor. That was poor. But then, you know, the Arsenal game, I think that could have gone either way in the end. It was a 50-50 game. They sort of did turn up, but I think it was more us being poor than them being quality. So I think we've been decent. I'm not too disappointed. Champions League 9 from 9, so. I
mean, the group, you would expect that.
Yeah, pot 1. If you win the Champions League, you win the league, you win the treble even. You got to hope you're going to get a decent group. So yeah, I think you put anyone in that group and we win it. So
to be fair, Man United in that group will probably still manage to struggle. We've obviously just got through to Copenhagen. I saw Pep speaking about how we'll gain confidence from that win. I was like, don't have me on Pep. We were so terrible. He likes to do that sometimes. But I mean, Kevin De Bruyne, Faz mentioned it there. Is he that much of a miss to you? Because from me watching, I obviously watch City quite a lot, but I don't watch them as closely as you will. I think, yeah, he has been a miss for the likes of Haaland, who's obviously still doing well, but he was like completely out of this world like this time last year. But I think as a team that you've been absolutely fine, in my opinion.
Yeah, we obviously do miss him. There's certain games. I think about that Wolves game, the Arsenal game. We did miss him in that game, and that was highlighted by Rodri not being there as well. But I think we can play without him because he has been injured before. We've got used to not playing with him, and towards the end of last season, he was actually injured, if you didn't know. The Bayern game away last year was April, and he injured his hamstring in that game, but played the rest of the season. And it was only in the final when it got to the point where he literally couldn't play on anymore, got subbed off, got made worse. But yeah, his games were being managed towards the end of last season, and we won the treble. So I think we can cope without him. We're not going to be as good without him, but we can cope without him to a good standard. But I think it's Rodri. Rodri is the player that we were missing the most because, with him injured, with him suspended even, it was...
Well, a big part of the win, Man United's win over Manchester City at home last year, Faz, was, I think Martial in the first half actually did a really good job on Rodri and kind of pressing him well and cutting him out of the game. In the second half, you saw him come into the game more when Martial got subbed off. And I know people criticise Martial a lot, but I think he did well there. Is that something that you think Ten Hag will be looking to employ again, was trying to cut Rodri off?
I don't think he's going to use Martial.
But no, but he could do it with Højlund. I'm not saying it's just because of Martial. I'm saying the role that the striker did.
Yeah, in terms of that, just trying to... What you'll have to do is almost have Rodri be on your man constantly, and instead of getting involved in the game, you have to get involved with making sure you keep Rodri busy so that Rodri isn't utilised going forward. So it's almost like a reverse tactic. What's going to be interesting to see is, whilst this battle is going on between the striker and Rodri, there is a new kid on the block. His name is Doku. And if the ball ends up on his feet, that I'm very much interested to see, because what's surprising to me is Pep is almost not using Grealish to the level which I thought he would.
Yeah.
And normally Pep's tendencies are that even if a player is missing, he's got a player like Alvarez, for example, comes in that central position. He'll have players who've been in the club already to come and step up, but he's using Doku to do that instead, and he's just come in. And Pep normally brings in players and he doesn't use them. He lets them study and he keeps them on the bench. So that's very interesting. I feel like he's almost like his kind of secret weapon, almost. The Rodri thing is Ten Hag has just got to pack that central position out with players around him to keep him busy. And soon as he's free, it's game over for us.
Yeah, I just think as long as you're not 1-0 down after 12 seconds, you'll have done pretty well there.
Oh, come on.
Because we've got to remember that was the last game we played.
We've got a different keeper in that now.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Which is, go on. You said
I was just saying just before, I genuinely think David De Gea, he was Man United's best player. The last however many years.
Give him a bit of money before he comes on.
No. Genuinely, I think De Gea, I was personally very happy when he left, when he didn't give him a contract extension. Onana, I thought was going to be way better than he's been. I mean, he's obviously saved you midweek, but I think he was awful, to be honest, like the first few games.
Yeah, he was.
But I think De Gea can have the odd blooper, the odd, mistake. But I think generally he makes big saves in games. And I see a shot going in the top corner, he just saves it. And it's like, you got so used to him doing that. I mean, he won the Golden Glove last year, and it's not because you have a good defence. I think that's because of De Gea.
Thank you.
So
I think you
can't brush past that. And I think he's won United Player of the Year a couple of times.
3-4 times?
Yeah.
Whose decision was it to bring this guy on stage?
Yours. It was your decision.
No, honestly, I can understand people's opinions. Obviously, you know, I don't know if you know, but that's not my opinion at all. I think David De Gea was a good keeper. I thought he was a brilliant shot stopper, but for what Ten Hag needs, I think we need something different. Onana started poorly, and I actually was just speaking before, I was saying, if Onana plays like he has the first few games for Man United, we're screwed, because we are going to face shots. And it could get silly. But if Onana plays the way he did against Copenhagen and builds on that, and the way he was against you guys in the Champions League final, which I thought he was really good then I think we have, it could be make or break on that position. But you also, it's going to come to this a little bit later, but you also said something else. I asked him, what did you make of Bruno Fernandes? A lot of people talking about Bruno, and a lot of Man United fans saying he should be dropped even. And what did you say about Bruno?
Well, for starters, I said he's a little rat, mate. The way, honestly, just dives, cheats, whinges. After all, your captain now, Bruno, your captain, So I think he's your best player. I do think he's your best player, but I think, like all United players, he's giving it too much of this constantly, and the refs here.
You say that about our captain, and you've got Erling Haaland doing crazy things on the pitch as well. We've heard some stories about Haaland doing crazy things on the pitch with defenders.
No, I think Bruno's your best player, but I think he's also greedy at times. I think he does sometimes. He's a little bit self-centered sometimes, and I think that's something he needs to work on. But hopefully he keeps it up because he can occasionally take away from your performance, but I think he is your best player. So.
But isn't he the one?
What do you think about Luke saying he's our best player, an outside perspective?
I think he's delusional. I think he's absolutely
Everyone
delusional.
says it who's a rival fan.
He's delusional, firstly, for supporting Man City anyways. But no, I don't agree with him.
Who's your best player then?
Well, in recent times, it has to be Casemiro. It has to be Casemiro based on last season. Right
How
now,
many red cards did he get last year?
Two, three, I think. But even when even without all the suspensions, he was still, a player that we desperately needed in that position.
Yeah, I think
this season he's been
I think he filled a gap. Yeah.
Top scorer as well.
But CDM shouldn't be your top scorer.
Sure, I know.
His
But
job is to defend to defend the back line.
I get that, but when he is in form and he's got a good run of games, he's a different class.
Bruno is our best player.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Well, right now he isn't anyways.
Get in the comments down below.
But I'm not even going to get into this because he'll just become the Bruno show.
We're not talking obviously on form there. His form has been pretty poor recently, but I'm hoping he's going to step up in the derby as a captain should. Thoughts as well. I like to get rival fans' perspectives on this. Marcus Rashford.
I think he is a bit of a purple patch guy. I think last year he had a silly streak of goals every week he was scoring, and I thought you got to take your hat off to him. But I just think he's so inconsistent. And
without the goals, there's not really anything else.
Yeah,
Is there?
I agree. I think he's just a quick guy, and he can put a chance away if he's in form. But if he's not in form, he'll just sky it over the bar. So, yeah, I don't know. He's inconsistent. I can't really.
He made his name from scoring against City.
Yeah, Di Michaelis was about 50, so we won't talk about that. But yeah,
I think it's going to be interesting to see how last season when he scored, it was him coming in the central position and Garnacho putting the ball in, and then him getting the winner. But when we played them away, he was absolutely having no chance at all. And I remember that particular game, how many absolute diabolical passes Bruno had made. So it's going to be interesting to see how Eric sets out the team with Rashford. It's obviously going to be him on the left with Rasmus in the middle. But he's not in form right now.
Even though Rashford, I have said I wouldn't mind him being dropped, and I do think he's been poor. Like against City, you do have to play him.
Yeah.
Purely for his counter-attack is his bread and butter, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Luke, we have got a time limit, so you don't. Let's just keep it short and sweet. But where can Manchester United be exploited?
Well, if we're talking about De Bruyne, I think it's even more places than everywhere, really. But I think, everywhere. I don't look at United the way you played this season, even though we've not been that good. I don't think you have a chance. I genuinely don't think you have a chance. I think.
I'd love it if we win. VAR, come on.
Well, you have got 12 players, as always, against City. Haven't had a penalty at Old Trafford since 1992. Haven't had a penalty in the derby since about 2010.
That's because Haaland was too busy diving last year.
You've had about 8, mate. Yeah, I don't know.
Haaland was diving all over the shot.
Nah,
the ref couldn't take it seriously.
I think if City turn up, I think we're just going to wipe the floor with you, to be honest. I'm thinking 2 or 3-0. It's a derby game, but you saw when we turned up last year at the Etihad. No, it's a different place, but we were 6-1 up at one point. You only got a couple consolation goals back, and that's only a year ago. So, I genuinely just think we're going to beat you. So,
I really, honestly, just seeing your face, I'm like, come on, please.
Yeah.
Even though I think there's a small chance, but there is a chance, Faz. What would you say back to Luke on that one?
I think against Manchester City, every single Manchester United player kind of understands the severity of the game. So it's not just coming down to tactics. Even in the cup final, I know you guys scored so early. We still had numerous moments where we could have put the game, brought the game back. Like Garnacho had one as well. And that's the funny thing with Manchester United. The only thing I'm kind of banking on is, for example, the last game that we played against Copenhagen, diabolical game. But I can count on 4 occasions where we could have been 3-0 up, 4-0 up.
Yeah.
Easily. Just counter-attack, boom, we're up.
Yeah.
And it's those moments that I'm going to be banking on, because Man City will come at us and we will hold it down. We'll have Varane on the pitch. We'll have all the defenders and everybody trying to defend and whatever. But it's those counter-attacking moments where Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford or Eriksen,
Even Garnacho,
if he plays, whoever it is, Højlund with his pace, because you saw that in the Champions League how pacey it is the counter-attacking, and the manager has to go back to that if he wants to make anything.
I think
we
if
can't play the way we have done.
If City don't, there's games this season. If you don't turn up like the Wolves game, if we put in a performance like that, I think you'll beat us, because it is the crowd behind you, the counter-attacks. You just legs turn to jelly, and that's the way United would win the game. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think we've already put in a couple of those poor performances.
I think the fans will play a big part, because you can sense, when I'm in the stadium, I can sense the level of pressure building onto this game. And as soon as someone makes a bad touch or a bad pass, it's going to start.
Well, what we do have to be is more clinical, because we've actually have our chances. People say United don't create chances. We don't create as many chances as we should, but we could have been 3 or 4-0 up in that Copenhagen game. Not joking.
Bruno was robbed off an assist.
Chances that we have to be scoring. Against City, I'm going to be honest, we're not going to get that many chances. I don't think, unless they completely blow me out the water and shock me, we're going to have, like you said, 1 or 2 chances. We have to score them. That's something that it could be the turning point for the season. That's how the players have to look at it. But Luke, how can City be exploited? How do United exploit City?
We've already mentioned, but it's the counter-attacks, and
because Pep won't change it, even though he knows it's coming.
Yeah, it's one of those. I just think in a derby game, you've just got to put you can't sit. But I mean, United are going to sit back a bit, but I don't think it's going to be like a Mourinho sit back and defend. I think it's going to just be wait for an opportunity and counter with the pace you've got. If Garnacho, you've got Rashford. That's what you're looking for, because at the end of the day, even though he's about 10 yards offside, that's how you scored the goal last year. And that's the way you're going to do it. It's the counter. There's no other way other than the counter-attacks. I don't think,
I mean, I think that's the best way you can do it as well. We spoke about that. I wanted to ask you, what is your favourite summer signing of City's this year?
You mentioned Jeremy Doku. I think he's something different. I do really like Gvardiol though. The way he can play. I think he'll start a left back.
I think Gvardiol is brilliant.
I think Gvardiol is probably my favourite signing.
So energetic.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, just because Doku's so raw and he's got normally you get these moulded down, crafted players that play in a certain. Doku's picking up the ball and just doing stuff with it.
Well, Pep said he needed more output out of Grealish, and he's brought in Doku to kind of bring that. I have a feeling Grealish might start though.
Yeah, I think Grealish could definitely play. I do think he will play. In fact,
he's usually good against us.
Foden as well, obviously. Haaland, Alvarez will play a little bit deeper, and then I'm seeing sort of. I don't think Kovacic will play. I don't think Kovacic he had a good start and he's sort of not quite putting the foot those performances recently, but yeah, I do think probably I'd say Gvardiol in one word, yeah.
And United's best signing of the summer, do you reckon?
I mean, probably Højlund, I'd say. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's going to be quite living up to what United. I think some United fans will deny it, but I think what United fans want him to be is just copy and paste of Haaland, and you're not going to get that. He's obviously got the speed. We've seen him, score goals. So
strength.
He's not scored in the Prem yet, but
just wait.
He can wait another week for that, I think, or more. Yeah.
I would absolutely love it Old Trafford if he scores. I mean, I've manifested it all week.
When he plays on the ref, which one? You're going to go a step further this time, yeah.
You can drink the tears here. You can drink the tears. No, but seriously, looking at this game, I wanted to talk to you about what players, if any, get into this combined 11. Do any?
No.
Faz, do any?
No. I don't think any do.
I really like Diogo Dalot. I think defensively I get it, but Bruno I can't because Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Højlund I can't because Haaland. Rashford because let me tell you why.
There's no way.
If Rashford was gifted to City now, he'd be on the bench and he'd get at most 5 minutes a game.
Let me tell you why. Only because it's not set in stone, is it Grealish or Doku? It's not set in stone.
Because they're both very good players. Rashford would not have a chance.
I'm not 100% on it myself, in all honesty. Obviously, the other side, Anthony's not getting
I love the fact that you're trying.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do.
You don't want to say...
Sofian? No.
I'll be honest, I'm always trying to be positive, and this time last year I would have put Bruno in there. But
is it players who are fit or unfit as well? Are we just doing?
I'm talking about players that are fit.
Yeah, there's no chance. I would have put Martinez right in there, but that's not happening. And you're not going to fight me on that.
I mean, even if Martinez was fit, he's never getting.
Yes, he is. Lisandro Martinez walks into
For
Manchester.
Who for?
Lisandro, any of them.
Who?
Any
Name them.
Any
Go
of
on,
them.
name them.
Who do you want to take out? Akanji?
Well,
No,
Akanji's
no.
not even in that back four. If you want to do our best team, Akanji's
Diaz
not playing the weekend,
Diaz.
Okay,
It
you want
depends if Diaz and Stones.
Stones back when he did. Yes,
You
Lisandro Martinez.
think Lisandro Martinez will get in City's team over John Stones?
Lisandro Martinez is that good.
Not a chance.
Lisandro
Sorry,
Martinez
Faz.
is that
I
good.
love Martinez. I love Martinez. There's
I
no
believe in
way
Lisandro
on
Martinez
earth.
that good.
No.
There's no way on earth that
He's
you
serious.
pick
No, I'm not
Martinez
having
over
it.
John Stones.
I'm not having
it just
it.
wouldn't happen.
I'm not having
I
it.
want to back our players, and I love Martinez. I think he's a brilliant centre back.
Lisandro Martinez will get in. Whether
He doesn't, Faz.
no, he gets in. For me, he
Gvardiol
gets in.
gets in over him.
What?
Yeah, of course he
No,
does.
not
He
having it.
does at the moment. He does.
No.
And
Only because, you know what, funny thing is, we'll say this because Martinez is injured. We've not seen, obviously, much of him
I want
this
him to
season,
play. If
whatever.
I could spawn him to be fit now, I'd do
But-
it.
and yeah,
He's got
Lisandro
absolutely
Martinez.
you'd rather
bullied.
him play than Maguire.
Yeah, I mean, him and Maguire can both play, but I think he got tossed around like a rag doll by Haaland last year in that first game.
And
I
against
believe he
Liverpool as
didn't
well. I
play in the
remember
second game.
actually against Liverpool as well.
I don't think
that
he
was a
played in
bad
the second game.
No, he didn't.
At Old Trafford, I don't think he played. Yeah, so
Who
I
plays
think
centre-back?
I'd love him to play.
I love Martinez, and I think he's a brilliant centre back. But City's defence is unreal. Like, and you just got to say it how it is. I don't think a single United player gets in, and it's sad.
I have to get at least one player. I have to
Let me
somehow
tell you,
fight one player.
Ake, Gvardiol, Diaz, Stones, whoever you want
I'd
gets
take
in.
Martinez over Ake.
Yeah, but
No,
you said
no
Bruno
chance. What? Just in the team or in the squad? Like I don't know. No chance.
It's a left-sided centre back. I'd take Martinez over.
Nah,
Ake.
I think Ake. I'd rather
Yes.
Ake. No.
Yes, his line
We
breaking
can agree
passes
to
is
disagree on
impeccable.
that. I really do want to put Bruno in, but I can't. At the moment, I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, score predictions.
3-0. I think 3-0. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I do think we're gonna beat you. I'm just gonna have to say 3-0. I don't want to sit back and say 1-0
Please clip this up
because
and hope it be different.
No, I think we're gonna beat United 3-0 because one, Haaland's back. If he was ever gone, Haaland is back. Scored a very good goal yesterday.
Scored
If
a
you've
nice
not seen
goal.
it.
It was good.
And I just think we're ticking together nicely.
Yeah, but he goes missing in big games.
I mean, that's not the case. He scored. So you're saying the Manchester Derby is a small game, is it? He
Yeah,
scored
but I
3 against
mean-
you, 2 assists last year.
Champions League final.
That
Can
was at
you-
your place, though.
Yeah, that was the first derby last year. This is the first derby this year. Yeah. Haaland goals guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And then I think maybe
Maguire's going to have him.
Yeah.
Have him for breakfast.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. We'll see about that.
You're gonna get
I
clipped
think
up.
so. I think City are going to win the game, and I think if we do win the game, it'll be 3-0 or 3-1. But I'm going to say 3-0. And I think if United were to win, it's like a 1-0, 2-1 job. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I think I see those as probably the only outcomes, and I don't think it's going to be like a 0-0 with no goals. I think City will win 3-0.
Faz, your score prediction?
Both teams are going to score. I can assure you of that. I'm definitely sure of that. I think I'm going to go with the 2-1 Manchester United simply because it's the derby and Marcus Rashford, he loves it when it comes to the big games. Bruno Fernandes has scored in consecutive derby games. The only player to do that
consecutive
Paul
derby
Scholes.
games, we sort of had like a dodgy pen in the FA Cup final and a goal that was like 10 yards offside. So I'll just contextualise that for everyone watching.
Everything counts.
Yeah.
I actually, my head's telling me a draw, but my heart is telling me Man United 2-1
You know what?
Don't know why.
All the refs' decisions should be going our ways anyways. I've got 115 reasons for that as well that I can give you. So if we are...
If we're so corrupt, why don't we just pay the ref and get a penalty at Old Trafford for the first time in 32 years?
Too much for the draws.
I have a theory that there'll be some sort of Netflix documentary on Man City in a decade's time.
What, the greatest team ever? The team that scored 10 at Old Trafford.
Something along the lines of the most fraudulent team that ever existed.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 Man United as well. Sack it. Get in your predictions down below. Get in your score predictions. Lastly, I always ask rival fans this. If you could take one player from Man United you don't have to be into the team, but into the City squad, who would you take?
Wow, as if City squad.
It sounds a bit bitch. I just get Bruno, stick him in the reserves, so you can't use him.
Oh my God.
The absolute disrespect. And who's Man United's weakest link?
Before this week, I'd have said Onana, but I don't know. I think it still could be him. If he's not confident, he's going to have a bit of confidence now, but I think De Gea is so much better than him. Genuinely. And you're saying about this system, you know, Ten Hag needs a keeper that can do this, do that. De Gea can't use his feet. That's not where United are at right now. You're conceding chances. Like, you're conceding goals every game.
Well, here's one for you. Who would Pep rather have?
Between Onana and De Gea.
Who would Pep rather have?
Oh, goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd probably rather have Onana, yeah. I mean, he baited you into
Would you say he's the
signing.
best manager in the world?
Yeah, of course. But that's because City don't concede that many chances or shots in a game, and he'd be better suited to our play style. Ederson's like a quarterback for us. He makes 1 or 2 saves a game, and he's just sat there pinging passes out. Whereas De Gea can't do that, and he wouldn't, you know, wouldn't be conceding that many chances, so it'd be a bit pointless.
I mean, interesting stuff. Let's see what happens. Confident?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you're more than confident. You're more than confident. That confidence needs to be put down a peg or two. You never
Come
know.
Sunday, I'll be absolutely giving the speech of my life, and then Man United
Could be only 3 points behind City. Could be, but could also be 9.
So your aspirations as a club are only be 3 points behind City.
Have you seen what we've been like the last 2 years?
Okay.
Give us a little bit of a break. But anyway, guys, make sure you get all your predictions, comments, what your starting lineup would be in the comments down below. Let us know all your thoughts. And Luke, thank you very much for being here. I usually say not good luck tomorrow, but good luck for the rest of the season. But no luck for the rest of the season or forever. Let's hope them 150.
They don't need luck. They're cooking the books. They'll be all right.
Well, anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. Make sure you like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and come on, United. Let's get this win. Prove all the City fans wrong, and we'll see you on the next one.